An 8-month pregnant woman in Detroit is filing a lawsuit against the Detroit Police Department. According to the ACLU of Michigan, the lawsuit comes after 32-year-old Portia Woodruff was falsely arrested for carjacking after DPD's facial recognition software misidentified her. The woman is the 6th person in the U.S. to report being falsely arrested of a crime as a result of facial recognition technology used by police. Woodruff is also the 3rd person in Detroit reported to have experienced this since 2018. Joining us now to discuss the impact of this facial recognition software is having on Detroit communities is Steve Dolan, the former Assistant Detroit Police Chief, and Nancy Parker, Co-Executive Director of the Detroit Justice Center. Thank you so much for both being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So, Steve, let's start with you. How is this even possible that, okay, let's say the facial recognition identifies a person to they were at the scene of the crime? Doesn't there have to be some sort of backup evidence to be able to determine here whether or not they will move forward with an arrest? Isn't it supposed to be used as a tool?
It is supposed to be used as a tool. You have to have a strong policy, strong procedure. You have to have oversight. You have to realize that technology changes, and you can't just buy a program and accept that. You have to take the updates and stuff. In these particular cases, one for sure that I'm aware of, the oversight was poor. And I remember Chief Craig was in charge, and they locked up an individual in Farmington Hills, I believe, in front of his kids, and he had nothing to do with the crime. So you need strong policy, procedure, you need oversight, you need to keep up on the technology. I've seen the graphic. 6 people in the United States have been misidentified, which is my understanding that with the technology, if you're a dark-complected Hispanic or light-complected African-American, it screws it up. It's not as accurate. So that's the con. The pro is it gets rid of a lot of people that might be possible suspects.
Well, Nancy, I'll get to you in a second, but I just want to understand this. So the facial recognition identifies a person and says, this could be a suspect.
Could be.
Well, okay, but how do they get from that to showing up at Portia Woodruff's house one morning where she's getting her 2 kids ready for school and 6 officers show up and they arrest her? How do we go from point A to point B there?
Poor oversight by the supervisors, poor use of the procedures. You can't just lock someone up based on that. That's like locking someone up based on simply a fingerprint or DNA. You can't. It's a tool. You have to use different, you have to be a detective. You can't just rely on artificial intelligence. It's only as good as what's inputted to it. And if you have inferior stuff that's inputted into the program, you're going to have these results.
Nancy, let's bring you in. I mean, how effective do you think facial recognition is? We've heard about these cases going on, including with the woman from Detroit. What is your opinion and expertise here as far as how effective this is?
So it has been clear coming from, you cited the ACLU as well as various organizing groups in the city of Detroit that has been telling you since day one, since DataWorks was contracted to create this Project Greenlight, that this technology does not work. Detroit is a majority Black city. The majority of the faces that are being scanned are Black people. They are dark complexion folks. Experts have told us that this technology was created using a white man's face. They cannot accurately pick up our facial features and distinguish us. Knowing this, the city of Detroit has continued to use this faulty technology that has serious constitutional rights violations. We have been going on ad nauseum as to why we need to cancel these contracts and put an end to facial recognition. What happened to Ms. Woodruff is ridiculous. Like if that is not the nail in the coffin, I don't know what it will be. It will literally take DPD executing an innocent person before they put an end to this. She was 8 months pregnant. I have had the luxury, the pleasure to be pregnant twice and have healthy deliveries. As Black women in the United States, we are 3 times as likely to die when pregnant and in childbirth. And what they put Ms. Woodruff through is nothing that she can ever be compensated through a civil rights lawsuit. We need an end to this technology, full stop.
Do you think there's any positive to it whatsoever, or do you think it's 100% just pure negative?
Absolutely not. There's no good to it. Once you have a technology that is created based on human input, it then is going to recreate the stereotypes and all the racist characteristics that, whether implicit or not, humans are feeding into this technology. The algorithms, the technology, the surveillance, everything is wrought with racism, and it has to end.
Steve, do you agree that they need to do away with, DPD, for example, needs to do away completely with this facial recognition technology?
No. The graphic said 6 people in the United States have been falsely accused, right? How many were excluded from being a possible suspect in the nation? How many of facial recognition said, that's the guy or that's the woman, and it was good? So you have 6 that were wrong, totally wrong, and I agree with that. 3 in Detroit, totally agree with that. Someone screwed up and dropped the ball. I want to know, 6 were wrong, how many were right? How many led to a conviction? Because they only use it if a crime's been committed. They don't just randomly throw people out. And like she alluded to with green light, it pops up, we look at it, okay. That's my opinion. How many people have been excluded as suspects? And I'd like to know the percentage of that.
Do you see what he's saying there, where there could be some positive to it, where we have a handful of examples across the country, which is obviously too many. This technology is new, but for the, to help solve crimes, this could be a good thing going forward.
I absolutely disagree. What we have is 6 known. The question we should be asking, Steve, is not how many resulted in actual furtherance of a case, how many have also had violations of civil rights that have not been brought forth. Just because we know of 6 does not in any way mean that is the limit, okay? And we have to, you talk about the policies here and failure there. If this is not a glaring mark on DPD's record for an 8-month pregnant woman to be somehow misidentified with a woman that was not visibly pregnant, I don't know what is worse. An indictment on the facial recognition technology for its racist and ineffective technology, or DPD's ineffectiveness, inaptitude, abysmal investigatory skill to ask one simple question when they opened that lady's door as she's preparing breakfast for her 2 little girls, 8-month pregnant. Excuse me, let me make a phone call. This woman thought it was a joke. She is clearly, visibly, extremely pregnant. The likelihood that she committed this crime in anyone's mind, whether it's Harriet the Spy or Nancy Drew, would have been a split second of let me make a call. Let me ask another question. The fact that none of those DPD officers took the time to do their job lets me know this is not a symptom, but this is literally the whole enchilada. This is how the whole DPD operates.
Well, Steve Dolan, the former Assistant Detroit Police Chief, and Nancy Parker, Co-Executive Director of the Detroit Justice Center, we appreciate you both being here tonight to discuss this matter.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.